bit of a trip. Looking for thrills to get me some kicks. Now, all you ladies, I shoot from the hip. I was born with a stiff upper lip. Like a dog in the house.
You know what? I'll let AC/DC deal with that. Hey, thank you for downloading the podcast. Thank you for downloading and listening to more of the same. Larry here, and I'm back. Have a little bit of a new setup here that you can't tell because, well, you're not here with me. You should be because it's a party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. If you don't remember that song, you are too young to listen to this podcast, even though there's nothing wrong with it. Actually, right now, just to let you know what I'm doing here, catching up, not quote-unquote live, catching NXT this week, the Revival against the Hype Bros. And I just posted actually a little while ago on my Facebook page, Mohr365, that's Mohr365, Plugola. Eric Young just debuted right at the beginning of the show. Samoa Joe, new NXT champion, came out. EY, apparently fresh off of a TNA contract, makes his way into NXT. And I put on Facebook, NXT's turning into TNA. A much better version of TNA, the way TNA should be. Austin Aries, Eric Young, Samoa Joe. The idea with guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, women like Asuka. NXT's really they've stepped up their game, if you will. The brand, it is a separate brand. You know, I used to say that it would be the top three: WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA. But, I mean, I don't put it in there because it's technically not a brand unto itself. But if you could do it, I feel like NXT would be in the top three. You know, WWE, NXT, ROH. But time will tell. You know, it's still not developmental. TNA is certainly not a developmental territory, but it's where guys go, established guys, to polish their game, because there is a separate type of performance between everywhere else and then with WWE, which is fine. You got a lot of veterans coming in finally because NXT is the place to be. Let's face facts. But the reason to be in NXT is to eventually make it up to the main roster. And I just want to touch on it real quick, kind of bring everyone up to speed here. This past Sunday was Payback. And normally Payback would be a setup of rematches from WrestleMania. But that wasn't the case because I don't think there was any matches at Payback that were rematches to WrestleMania. No, actually none that I can think of. So, but it was still a excellent pay-per-view. It's the first pay-per-view of the new era, and we'll get into that in a little while, or maybe even at the next podcast, to figure out what the new era is. Is it no longer the PG era? They're still TV PG, but now with this crop of new talent, I mean, just the night after WrestleMania, we saw the debut of Enzo and Cass. We saw Apollo Crews. Baron Corbin pretty much moved up to the main roster at WrestleMania because he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That following Thursday, the Vaudevillains. Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains were in the finals for the number one contenders for the tag team titles, which we'll get into in a moment. And this could be the new era. Now, also, could it be the fact that half the roster is injured? I'm sure that lends to some of what's happening here with the new era. But if Payback is the measuring stick of what this new era will be, well, then I am all for the new era. And it started, first let's touch on it right away. Again, if you watch the pay-per-view, you saw it all. First match of the night was the finals of the tag title, number one contenders for the tag title tournament, Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. And Enzo and Mohr got whipped into the ropes, viciously hit him hard, which snapped his head back to hit the side of the ring and knocked him legitly, it's a shoot, completely unconscious. Stopped the match, which, look, Enzo Amore, he was rushed to a hospital. Everything was okay. Turned out to be a concussion. He was able to leave the emergency room, leave the hospital on his own accord, which is excellent. We always want to see that. He'll be out for a few weeks just to make sure everything else is okay. But, it kind of stinks for the Vaudevillains and for Colin Cassidy, because let's face facts, this was their first major match since debuting on the main roster. The two of them in the finals of a number one contenders tournament. And then it was fairly quickly in the match, maybe only about 3 or 5 minutes into the match, when Enzo was hurt. So, it takes away a little bit. You gotta think that as much as everyone wanted to make sure that Enzo was okay, they also kind of wanted to show their abilities a lot longer than the match was. But because of this, even though it was ruled a no contest, the Vaudevillains will take on the New Day for the WWE Tag Team Championship at Extreme Rules. The match of the night, in my opinion, was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, with this bitter rivalry that came to a head. It started over a year ago, a year and a half ago, in fact, in NXT, when Kevin Owens took the NXT Championship from Sami Zayn. And, of course, their history in Ring of Honor, Kevin Steen, El Generico, as No Way Jose makes his Full Sail debut. But Zayn and Owens put on a battle. And, of course, I can talk about it, but there's only one way really go. Go to the network, watch it, Payback 2016. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, which spilled over to the Intercontinental title match with Miz and Cesaro. Now, everything I feel like kind of was being set up, almost like a 3-hour preview, or 3-hour setup, I should say, to Extreme Rules, because, well, you're going to have the tag title match that's going to be at Extreme Rules, which we'll get into in a moment. A rematch for the Women's Championship will be at Extreme Rules. In fact, let's get into it right now. Charlotte and Natalya, due to the repeat of the Montreal Screwjob, which some people can deem as just horrible booking, unoriginal ideas, but pretty much Charlotte put Natalya in the sharpshooter. Referee Charles Robinson immediately calling for the bell, and Charlotte retaining the title. At Extreme Rules, I would have suggested an I Quit match, but they're going into a submission match, which we'll take. Now, and not putting all the other matches aside, but they also had to fill some time because of the shortness of the Enzo Cass Vaudevillains match. But the match that really stepped it up better than I thought it was going to be, AJ Styles and Roman Reigns. That was the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't know if it was AJ bringing up Roman Reigns or if Roman Reigns stepped it up. But the two of them had, especially for Roman Reigns, had a, no pun intended, phenomenal match. First it ended in a count out, and then Shane McMahon came out, restarted the match, then it ended in a DQ. Stephanie came out, restarted the match. Almost kind of reminiscent of Shawn Michaels and Vader back at SummerSlam a whole bunch of years ago. But, and then Roman Reigns eventually wins the match. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson came out, the Usos came out. I'm sure the two of them will battle at Extreme Rules. But right at the very end of Payback, Shane and Stephanie announced, I guess more Shane, that AJ Styles will get his rematch against Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules in an Extreme Rules match. And this past Monday on Raw, Roman Reigns really brought out the viciousness. Almost, I wouldn't say heel, but heel-like actions, which is, I think, good for Roman Reigns. If they're going to boo Roman, might as well bring him to a heel. So, but that was Payback. Extreme Rules is in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks at this point. But that is the kind of the old wrestling update, if you will. Some other things happening here with the next week or two. First of all, Captain America Civil War, or as I like to call it, the Avengers 2.5 is going to be coming out. Are you Team Captain or Team Iron Man? And this one, I mean, a bevy of superheroes, short of, as far as we know, short of the Hulk and Thor, unless they sneak them in there somehow. Everyone is pretty much in this movie. And I don't know much about it. I didn't read the comics, the Civil War comics. Certainly not reading any spoilers, and I stay away from trailers. I don't know if you know this, but I am pretty much now at this point, I only watch one trailer, the old debut trailer. I'll watch the teaser, and then I'll watch the first official trailer. After that, I'm not watching, because typically they give away too much in the trailer. And it's bad enough that Funko already spoiled some information, which I'm going to give you right now. An alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you want, just fast forward, 15, 20, 35 seconds maybe. But, I mean, Ant-Man, which is not a spoiler, Ant-Man's in the movie, but it appears that he's going to become Giant Man because they are going to be selling Giant Man Funko Pop vinyls related to Civil War. So, kind of something I would have liked to see in the movie, but I'll take it. Now, this is not a spoiler. Spider-Man, clearly in the movie. Sony and Marvel, I guess Sony and Disney, reaching a workable agreement where Spider-Man will be in the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man also announced recently with his standalone movie, which comes out, I believe, 2017. I think it comes out next year. Spider-Man Homecoming. And Robert Downey Jr. has signed on to play Iron Man in Spider-Man Homecoming, which I don't know how that would work. I don't know what story they may be going with from the comics, but it's great to see RDJ to continue to be in these Marvel movies. He's even talked about, I think he would be open. Nothing is signed whatsoever, but I don't think he said he would have a problem with an Iron Man 4. Oh, wow. That didn't take long. Samoa Joe and Eric Young are up next on NXT. Okay. Thought they would tease that for a little while. Guess not. I'm looking forward to Civil War. Right now, in my opinion, the best superhero movie, not just Marvel, superhero movie, to me, is Deadpool. It broke every rule in the book. It was funny. It was original. Poked fun at itself. Poked fun at everything. Very, very entertaining. I just watched it again recently. It just became available digitally. And from what I heard, Civil War is so far blowing all the other movies out of the water, all the other superhero movies. So I'm going to be I may see it, I think, the following Tuesday after it comes out this Friday. But I'll definitely be at the theater. I'll be watching Civil War. I'm Team Iron Man all the way. And we'll see who wins in the end. Hopefully, this is my concern as well. Hopefully, Batman v Superman really didn't do much damage to the whole genre. I didn't mind, personally, Batman v Superman. A lot of people did. I didn't have too much of a problem with the movie. Other than the ridiculous reason why they ended up becoming friends with Batman and Superman. I thought it was an alright movie. I thought it was okay. It could have been better. Maybe it was overhyped. That could be the case. Because certainly I felt The Dark Knight was overhyped when it originally came out. But with DC starting their universe, Marvel already 8 years into their universe, now it's going to be a horse race. Marvel versus DC. Who's going to have the better universes? Universi? I think the overall establishment is going to say Marvel, but let's see what DC has to offer. Marvel, upbeat, fun, funny as well. DC is going more serious, darker tone. Is there one is better than the other? I don't think so. But to the casual fan,
Let me check on that.
Siri,
Okay,
what?
I found something.
What are you
on
talking
the web.
about?
Or is there one
Shut
that's
up,
better
Siri.
than the other? I don't.
Okay, for some reason, Siri thought I was talking to her, so we will shut her up. But it depends on what you like. I've been having fun with the Marvel movies. I think we just have to continue to wait and see with DC. With them, next for them is going to be Suicide Squad, which I think is going to have a little bit more levity in the movie. And a lot of more people are like when Batman v Superman, when the casting was announced and everything, just people had problems. Even though I'm still saying that, I don't care what anyone says, Ben Affleck was a great Batman. He was a better Bruce Wayne. In my opinion, he's the best Bruce Wayne cinematically speaking. But he was an excellent Batman, and he's getting the standalone Batman movie that he's going to write, direct, and star in. But Suicide Squad, I mean, everyone's really behind this from the get-go. Could it be the characters, finally seeing Harley Quinn on the big screen, the return of the Joker. How is Jared Leto's Joker going to hold up to all the other Jokers? That we'll find out. Suicide Squad, I forget when it officially opens. I don't have that data in front of me. But, hopefully Suicide Squad will take a lot of the sting that Batman v Superman left with the with the DC fans and the DC universe. Again, as usual, only time will tell. So, but that's, pop culture is certainly on the forefront as well. It was just a couple weeks ago. It's been a long time since I was able to speak with you guys. But we had a few passings. China, fortunately, rest in peace. Prince, rest in peace. Doris Roberts, rest in peace. And also the Xbox 360, rest in peace. They have ceased. They're no longer making Xbox 360s. With the backwards compatibility of the Xbox One, I can understand why. More and more games, over 150 games, are available backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. So I guess there's no need for the 360 unless you already own it. But with that, also the rumor of a hyped up PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4.5, if you will, Nintendo's NX is going to be was announced, and I think more information will be available this E3. I'm sure with Nintendo's press conference. Well, they're direct. They don't do the press conference anymore. They do the direct to the consumer through the Wii U. And I still think the Wii U holds up. There's some great games on it. Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Maker, mostly Mario games. The Zelda remakes, the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, both HD remakes. So, Nintendo still has tricks up their sleeve, and they're just ready to pull them out. I'm just curious what the NX is, what it's going to look like, what it's going to do. There's going to be new features, new technology. Also, Microsoft announced that they're going to announce not a new system, but new hardware for the Xbox One. Now, that's going to be in June, next month. So we got a lot to look forward to. Between that, movies, wrestling, got Eric Young right now going to work on Samoa Joe. And otherwise, I'm just kind of sitting here, soaking it all in. And with that, I'll catch you next week. Thank you very much for downloading. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, everywhere, social media. For me, Mohr365. And the big ones for the show, more of the same. Instagram, more of the same, with underscores underneath everything. On Twitter, more of the same, all one word. And follow me there, follow me here. Follow me everywhere. #MOTS. I'll catch you guys next time.